Hello Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's epic when you need him?
Hello.
Hello, fantastic people. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm doing well, better now after I've got the two stressful games out of the way this morning, playing Overcooked this morning, and then Choice Chamber, and chat was not kind in any way, shape or form to me, as chat normally isn't, to be honest. How has your day been so far?
Not too shabby. We had a really fun start to the day with looking through the WAN hole, which was great fun. But now we're here. Hopefully, this is going to be a less stressful game for both of us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Building PCs. Where do we begin? Have you ever built a PC before, Steve?
I've never built my own. I didn't build my own PC. I got a friend of mine to build my PC because I just didn't trust myself. And it was just after I bought a 1080 before the price drop of them. So I didn't want to break something that was that expensive. I built a few PCs in PC Building Simulator, so I've played around with it a bit.
You
not a massive amount. No, this is like back before the Overclockers DLC came out. But obviously, since the Overclocker DLC has come out, I've just tried to like keep myself away from it because I knew that me and you wanted to do something with the two gentlemen that we have in the channel with us as well. Both of them guests from your show earlier on today through the WAN hole. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce them.
Well, firstly, I would like to give a very big shout out to our headline sponsor, Overclockers, for continuing to support epic.LAN as well as epic WAN. It's been fantastic to have your continued support.
Thank you very much.
But without further ado, let's introduce our two guests. We have Mr. Five-Up, the free chairman himself from Noble Chairs, and we have Andy from Overclockers.
Hello,
Welcome,
gents.
Guys. Welcome.
I'm loving the change up in the setup for the pair of you. Obviously, you've shifted yourselves over to the office. How was the journey?
Yeah, it was good. It's not too far away. It's just that my internet at home is absolutely terrible. So I thought it'd be good if me and Andy social distance together in the office and yeah, do it from here. So yeah, it's good to be on here.
I like it. It's not bad. We did a bit of a draw as to who's going to go first and who's going to have who as their partner, because we're going to split this into two. So we got a 30-minute segment each. So Jazz is going to take the first segment, and I'll explain the reasons why. Probably won't actually explain the reasons why, because we haven't seen the second tape yet. But you'll soon find out later on down the line. Jazz is going to take the first, and she also picked first as well. So it's going to be you and Andy up to begin with to build the first computer, and then myself and Steve then immediately afterwards.
So, Steve, should we explain the kind of concept behind what we're actually doing here? So basically, we've got two teams. We've got myself and Andy, and we've got Steve times two, the two Steves. Basically, it's a kind of a race to see who can build a PC the quickest out of myself and Steve. But obviously, we have the Overclockers guys themselves talking us through the whole process, explaining why certain things are done. I'm going to be asking them questions about PC building in general. I had a few people messaging me, telling me some questions that they were curious about when it comes to building PCs and whatnot. So I will be forwarding your questions on to Andy himself. Andy, I hope you are ready and raring to go. I hope you're ready to beat the two Steves.
If not in game, then physically afterwards. Social distancing beating with a long stick. Yeah, just a disclaimer, by the way, we're not the guys who build your PCs. So when this goes wrong, and it will go wrong, we aren't the end result of what will happen to your builds. We have professionals to do that. So he builds chairs. I don't build anything.
That's a very, very quick disclaimer added in there. I like that disclaimer.
Hold on a second, Andy. I've picked you for my team, thinking
I can build PCs. I don't build them for a living. So we're fine. It's better than a chair.
I can build chairs, and PCs are similar to a chair. I don't know. I'll see.
Did you say a PC is similar to a chair?
We mentioned this yesterday. You use a screwdriver on a chair. You also can use a screwdriver on a computer. So technically, they're the same thing.
Tangible at best.
You can sit on a computer, can you? Yeah, you probably could.
You probably could. I wouldn't recommend it for too long. At least. No,
right, Andy.
The LAN cases.
Yeah.
Oh, which reminds me, actually.
Yeah.
You guys are doing some special deals and whatnot for our EPICLAN people. Do you want to maybe say a few words about that before we jump straight into the building?
So yeah, I've got push to talk on, and it's on my control key, and I'm trying to get to the page to remember it. Basically, it's if you check your emails, it'll be in there. But if you go to overclockers.co.uk, and bear with me 1 second.
He's going to it right now.
It's a really good segue. This is. I like it.
When you push to talk is a control button. It's not an easy life.
Andy for permanent on-screen talent. Come on now. Let's get that moving. Well, we have Andy.
I hate push to talk.
Anyway. I do have my mug in hand, at least anyway, from Overclockers. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Jen.
yeah. Shout out for the mug, guys. And for the mouse mat also. My mug is filled with Haribos.
Haribo?
My Haribos didn't last, so I had to go out and buy another pack. Because I opened the mug, and the minute I opened my mug, my mum went, Haribos? I like Haribos. And it was just gone within an instant. So I do have them on my desk. They will get eaten at some point. But they're there in spirit, at least anyway.
So the URL for the deals is clockers.co.uk/epic-WAN. That's where you can check out some of the deals we're doing. We've also got 10 codes. 10. I have to keep holding control, so it's 10 codes for PC Building Simulator. If you get the code and redeem it before everyone else, whisper either me or Stephen, and we've got the OCUK DLC code as well. So we'll give you the DLC on top of that. So yeah, just tune in and you can win yourself the game.
Good stuff. Right. Andy, Steve, do we have like a list of specs that we're going for, or is it literally just basic requirements for
only thing that I'm aware that we need to be aware of is the case. The case that we're going to be using is a Be Quiet Silent Base 600. Now, there's a couple of different versions of it in-game. I've picked the orange one for my build, just purely because it's orange, and why not? But you can have any color as long as it is the Be Quiet Silent Base 600. As far as internals are concerned, 1 GPU only, 16 gigabits of RAM, and you can have either Intel or AMD. It's whatever you want to do, whichever way you want to work it.
All right, okay, I see. I guess I'm going to be picking the expert's brains about this to decide which one we're going to be using. So, just so you guys know, I've never played this game before. I have no idea where anything is placed. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, Andy, I'm relying on you, sir.
I've played it once, so yeah, this is going to go swimmingly. Right, let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
I'll try my best to look at the screen and what's going on.
The good news is, Steve, is the look of absolute horror on Andy's face when she said, I'm going to ask you to tell me where to go and get things, was the best thing I've ever seen. I know where things are.
I've played it once. Yeah, I'm screwed.
I can't actually see Andy's face, though, so he could be face palming at everything that I'm doing, and I would have no idea. Please don't face palm at everything I do.
No, it's fine. It's just it's gone really glitched out for me, so we're off to a great start.
What do you mean glitched
I genuinely
out?
can't see. For me, all I can see is a horrible glitch on the game capture.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a pastel effect going to it, isn't it?
It's very psychedelic. I love it.
I guess
but it's in no way conducive to the gameplay.
I'm looking at it on the stream and it looks fine.
I'm looking at it on the stream and it's not.
In the background.
Well, I'm looking at it on OBS and it looks fine, so I don't know if it's
I tell you what, Jazz, while we try and fix that, how about me and Steve give it a crack instead?
Yeah, go for it.
And I'll see if we can perhaps start our process off. Let's see.
Andy, I'm going to get a notebook and a pen, and we're going to make notes on where they go wrong, okay?
Oh, it's loaded for me.
Is it loaded up?
Step one is still get a chair.
Right. Okay. So I am in. This is the Overclockers DLC, by the way, guys. So if you do manage to get a key for the game, this is what you're going to be met with when you first load into it. I think we have a countdown timer that's going to go up on stream.
Oh God, pressure!
We've got 30 minutes to get this cracking, so I'm ready to rock and roll. I have already set out on the big table. I've called this our base. I didn't want to show her this, but you can actually, without having to go to. You normally get your parts from here, Jazz. Okay, but
wait, I can't see it.
I'm going to be very... You normally go to the big shelves on your right-hand side to get your parts. However, I'm going to be kind, because we're in free build mode. You can just click install, and it'll give you all the parts that you need. So I'm going to go back and forth to the shelves. I was going to make you go back and forth to them. Steve, what are we thinking? Intel motherboard or AMD?
AMD.
Ooh, to be honest, I like both. So, yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with installing. They're kind of similar, just the sockets are slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling... I mean... When it comes to motherboards, obviously, like there's so many different options you can potentially choose from. It's very difficult to be like, I'm going to choose that one, and that's the one we're going to go for. So what I think we should probably look at doing is perhaps going for like an Asus one. Obviously, we've got them on the the sort of main page as it is anyway.
Oh yeah.
We need RGB though, because I mean,
of course,
RGB makes everything right. You know what I mean? It makes everything perfect. So. Let's go for a...
Do you want to just hold on a second until we can actually scout out what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, we can hold for a second. That's no problem. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm not doing anything right now. Steve, don't tell them anything. We're not screwing the motherboard in really quickly. Beat them on time. We'll hold for a second. But yeah, I mean... Asus and Intel, obviously there's a lot of competition between the two, and there's a lot of preferences that people have between the two of them. I'm Intel and have been for quite some time. Do you guys have like a specific preference as to which one you want?
I use Intel at home, but then at work I use AMD, so I don't really have a preference. Although I am looking to upgrade currently, and I'm still trying to make my mind up. But we could go with Intel, maybe. If you've got Intel and I've got Intel, we could go with what we're comfortable with.
Andy, any preference for yourself though as to whether you want Intel or AMD if you are gonna build your own system again?
I am looking at upgrading as well, and again stuck in a rock and a hard place between Intel and AMD. But I think for the time being, it's probably going to be Intel.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So I obviously with the feed side of things, you can see everything that's going on now. Obviously in the background, I have screwed 2 screws in. I will admit that, so apologies. But we've got our board going in at least anyway. We've got an Asus ROG Maximus X formula going into the build. What I quite like about this game is the fact that it gives you a retail value on the right hand side, all in dollars. So I'll never be able to buy any of this stuff because of how expensive it is. But it's good to dream, yeah. So we got the motherboard in. What do we need next?
Oh, you're asking me?
Don't forget, you're on the clock here. So.
Well, I think we should stick the processor and just stick that right in the socket, and yeah. I would go with the fastest one we can, maybe.
Fastest one. I was going to say, which one are we looking at? Potentially to go with, and I think. Realistically, as gamers, everyone knows that if it's got the more numbers, that means it's better, right?
Yeah, so go for like number 9. That sounds good to me.
We'll go for like 9900K. I think that's probably going to be okay. KS.
Yeah, go for the KS.
Yeah, we'll KS. Yeah,
it's got more digits. I think that's better.
Logic.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I don't build my own PCs at home is because I 9 times out of 10 forget that you need to put thermal paste on things. So I'm just going to quickly add the thermal paste on before I forget, and I think both of us forget that at least anyway.
Can you apply it in different ways?
I don't think you can. It's just a single dot in the center, which is controversial to say the least.
It is.
Because I know a lot of people do the X.
I'm an X guy.
Yeah.
I am an X.
I use the whole tube normally. Just squirt it all on.
If it works, it works. Okay,
it's like an overfilled sandwich when he does it. It comes out the sides and everything. It's great.
Oh, God. I couldn't deal with that at all.
Right. Make sure you put it inside as well, Steve, so it's like really cool, so all the pins are covered in it as well, mate.
Have you ever done that before?
No.
No,
Okay, all right.
Customers have though.
Oh my goodness!
No
I couldn't
way.
imagine. I've seen there's obviously Reddit is full of wonderful people, and my favorite one is the one where it's like the PC build's gone wrong section, and they are so amazing with people who have like broken pins off stuff and then tried to repair it with like super glue. And that's not how it works. Like,
that reminds me actually when you say super glue. When we had a customer once who used, the hot glue gun. They actually glued in the graphics card into the socket, it's not even a lie. Like I took photos back then, and
oh my god,
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I don't know if he followed someone on Reddit who was like trolling or what, because in any guide you read, it would never ever say to use glue. So
no,
I don't know what he was thinking.
It's like the whole thing when someone says to you, like, "Oh, do you know what you can do to like warm your food up quicker? Is put a bit of foil over the top of it and put it in the microwave. And that will be fine." Or to dry your mobile phone out, you just put it in the microwave for 10-15 minutes.
There was that troll a few years ago. I don't know if you remember the how to charge your iPhone up within a few seconds.
Oh
troll.
Yes, I remember that.
Put it in the microwave, and everyone was like, "My phone's not working anymore." And it's like, really, you didn't think that would kill it? Okay.
Yeah, microwave literally burns everything. Not a good idea. I know next step for us should realistically be cooler, because a CPU obviously heats up like mad, so we need to get something that's going to be proper cooling. Sticking with the thing of like more lights means better components.
I would say so.
I didn't want to say this out in front of these two, but like AOI, obviously we want to get an all-in-one. We want to get something that's going to give us good cooling, but also look really cool as well at the same time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this one will fit, or should fit at least anyway. But we need to take the front case off, if I'm not mistaken. Just that way then we can actually get it on the front panel. Watch now, I'll be getting a job at Overclockers next now. I'll be sat next to 8-pack installing computers and components and all that kind of stuff.
But we haven't told you, but this is actually an interview. We're doing it live on stream, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
There's somebody outside watching you, mimicking every step of the way.
Yeah.
I need to get a tie. Can I be right back real quick? I need to get like a suit and tie on like Andy had yesterday.
I was unbelievably warm after waiting around in a shirt, tie, suit jacket, and bathrobe for like 45-50 minutes. I was like, this will be hilarious. After 5 minutes, it wasn't hilarious anymore.
Yeah, I was watching from the production room, and I was like, is he wearing a dressing gown? And they're like,
yeah,
no, he's not wearing a dressing gown. And I was like, that is a dressing gown. He's got a suit. He's got a shirt and tie on underneath it. It was brilliant. It was very, very good in all fairness. Steve, we got cooler in, we've got CPU in, we've got motherboard in.
Yeah,
what are we
I'm a little bit concerned. Is the PC on fire? Like there's smoke coming out the back.
No, that's Alan too in the background.
Oh, is Alan?
We haven't got that far yet. This is just the Alan to.
That's good.
Alan
Okay.
to the background.
Just safety first, Just need to make sure.
Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Picking the PC up.
So next, I think, should we just stick some memory in there? Should we just whack that in? Wait, have we screwed in the cooler? Is that something we need to do, or does it kind of do it itself?
Screwed in, ready to go. That is already for us.
Okay,
I think what we should probably do at this point, I'm going to leave the front case off, because we're going to have to go back there at some point, right? So I'm not going to block that up and add more time in for us. But yeah, memory I think is probably a good idea. I mentioned earlier on it needs to be a minimum of 16 gigabytes.
Okay.
So realistically, again, go in with the same mindset that we had earlier on, that RGB means it's going to be brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Like this is what we have to do.
Well, we're planning to sell the system, aren't we, afterwards? So let's
exactly.
make sure it's colourful.
And the higher the number, the better, right? That's again, like a standard thing that gamers do. If it's a high number, that means I'm going to want to buy it because it's going to be literally the best thing since sliced bread. So we need to find something that's RGB. Maybe the Corsair ones. Corsair ones are pretty good for RGB, aren't they? Or are they just white? But they are, at least.
It might say on the description.
There we go.
RGB, here we go, yeah.
There we go. Now we're working.
These are the one.
The gas.
I have to say, this game is very detailed. Like, the fact that you can take the front panels off and all this different, like, products. It's not just one stick of memory you can pick from. It's literally a whole range.
Yeah, the panel work is very good on it, and I think it's it is built to kind of give you the impression that you are able to like build your own kind of system and put everything in that you really want to. I've seen people on like Reddit and that use this as a way of figuring out what they're actually going to build for real. Like PC part picker is something that a lot of people use when they're looking to put parts together ready for it. But I have seen people use this game as a method of figuring out which parts they want to go for. I nearly made a fatal error putting them in at the same slot then.
I suppose it's a good way of visualizing it as well, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
exactly. Good point.
As long as obviously the things you want are in the game. If you're going to pick some obscure random case, then probably not so much.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many different parts in this game. Some of them are obviously branded differently, so where they don't have copywriting for it. But some of the parts are the same, like Corsair, for example. I think a lot of the cases that are in here as well are like legit cases. There's not that many of the LAN ones, but there's a lot of different types of cases you can potentially get into it as well. Also, so it's a good like kind of mess around game to play around with, but there's a story mode with it as well also, so you can actually open up your own shop and you take in computers that people are sending in because they're broken or whatever, and you have to repair them basically, and that's how you make money, and you build up your shop a little bit more, and you can buy more parts and more components and all that kind of stuff. It's a very kind of in-depth game to play around with. So we've got our 16 gigs of RAM. Where do we want to go next?
I'm thinking we probably need to get the power supply in and the cables in there maybe first. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that. Power supply, higher the number again. Obviously, power supply, the higher the number isn't always the best, unless you want a really quiet computer. Like I remember reading a friend of mine put his PC together, and he bought 3 times the amount of watt that he needed, just so that he never had to hear his power supply fan go on.
That's dedication.
And I'm like, that's amazing. Well done to you. It worked for him at least anyway, and he managed to get like a completely silent power supply. But yeah, buying something that's 3 times as big is probably not the best of ideas. High numbers, or do we want to go for something kind of middle ground and work our way in?
Maybe around the 850 mark, maybe.
850,
I think that's a good sort of mid number. That's a little bit higher.
Well, let's put 850 in there. We've got Corsair RAM already. So do we want to stick with Corsair for the power supply as well?
Yeah, can do. What other brands are there? I see Corsair.
We've got
Antec.
Coolmaster, Thermatec as well.
Yeah, let's match it up with the memory. Why not?
There's no RGB one, which is a disappointment, obviously.
Yeah, there was a brand. I don't know if Corsair did one, but there definitely are RGB power supplies out there for sure.
It's Superflower.
Is it Superflower?
It is, and we are unfortunately sold out of them. But yeah, RGB PSUs, we sell them from Superflower.
Jeez,
Wow.
I want that now. I want that for my own computer. I'm going to be sat in the house later on just Googling like crazy to see if I can get myself one. I'm in the process of upgrading my monitor. My main monitor, unfortunately, is definitely 100% on its way out after probably a lot more use than it's used to, given current situation with lockdown and everything. So my main monitor is slowly dying. So at the minute, I'm in the process of trying to figure out where I want to go as far as getting a 144 hertz 2K monitor. So I've been scouting your website today, and I'm about to press the button to order my new one to come hopefully next week, so I can get this one out of the way and the new one in place.
Nice.
So we want to do cables.
It really does look like there's smoke coming out of that, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I'll turn the PC a little bit so we can all see, but it is definitely not the computer yet.
Andy, are you taking notes on what they're doing and where they're going wrong?
I already have a list of the stuff I want to do.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is what I like to hear.
So one core thing depends on if the case that I want us to use is available. Because we're not going to go for RGB. RGB is a waste of money. We're going to go for a stealthy or closed-off build. Because the other good advantage of a completely closed-off build is nobody sees the terrible cable management, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
But RGB is so pretty.
It is, but do you want to win or do you want pretty lights?
I want both.
when I built mine, and I used the quotation marks of build. I didn't build mine. One of my mates built it for me. I said to her, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do, like RGB or whatever? And she said, you buy anything RGB and I'm not building it for you. I was like, what? And she's like, no, we're not doing RGB. Like, that's for LAN computers. Like, yeah, but we go to LAN. And then she went, yeah, but not that kind of LAN. And I was like, okay, fair enough, whatever. So I've actually bought, my case has got one of those like tinted windows on the side of it. So that way then it has got RGB in it, but it's very faint unless you're looking right into the glass.
Mine has one of those as well.
I do have the best of both worlds. So I've connected up all the power supply cables to the motherboard, to the fans and everything else that we need to do. I won't plug in the computer, obviously, because we're going to blow ourselves up just yet. I think we're ready for GPU.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
hard drives. We've got hard drives to put in.
I was going to say storage. Yes, you just reminded me, actually. Storage is definitely important.
How much storage do you guys have in your computers?
Me personally, I've got like 2 terabytes, which isn't a lot, really. I'm looking to upgrade to get M.2s because at the moment I've just got like a normal SSD and a mechanical drive, whereas I'm thinking of just kitting it out with M.2 drives.
Okay, how about you, Reaper?
I have a M.2 500 gig. I've got a 1 terabyte solid state, and then I've got a 3 terabyte external. I do a lot of recording work though, so all my recording goes on the external for me to then re-render through my computer. So it's kind of like the external doesn't have anything on it other than recording stuff. So
what about
I can't
you,
really
Andy?
count it.
Andy?
So, yeah, I've completely forgot to push to talk there. And I already said to Stephen, you're going to go like this at me at some point. And he did. So I've got about 1 terabyte of SSD. I think I've got basically a 500 and a 500. And then I've got a 2 terabyte SSHD and a 10 terabyte mechanical for all my file dumps. Because I do like a lot of event stuff, and if I'm ever doing it at home, we do all the graphics for the stands and all the print work. So you can imagine if I'm doing, like, for instance, when we do 4-meter tall towers, I normally design at 50% size, so it's at least 2 meters tall. So the files are normally quite a few gig per side of the tower, and that's 4 sides. So I take up a lot of room for that. And that, at the minute, 1 SSD, 1 500 gig SSD is for COD and Red Dead. And Red Dead's going to get installed eventually.
COD is like what, 198 gigabytes at the minute. I think COD is at the moment.
I can't even remember. It's a big boy.
It's so worth it though. I really enjoy playing it, but
it's worth it.
It is and it isn't. Like, Warzone is getting better. As a former PUBG player, like proper PUBG player, to tournaments and everything, I'm a big Battle Royale fan, and Warzone is definitely getting better. However, though, I've just realised that Jazz is basically making us waste our time here, Steve. We need minutes left. So I'm ignoring Jazz now from now on in.
Click everything. Just click everything on the screen.
RGB hard drive. RGB storage is a given. We're putting more lights and colours into this than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. So we are going to stick that in there. Oh, actually, what I remember, this case we need to take the back side off so we can actually put the storage into it. So HyperX Fury, bigger number, 960. So that's going to be our drive for that.
Is it RGB, that one? Yeah?
It is RGB as well. Yep.
Good.
Ready for it. We'll take the other drive out because we're only going to have the one. I think we need to have an M.2 as well, and we can also have an RGB M.2, which I didn't know until right now that they made RGB M.2s. So, yeah, that's going in there as well.
Good.
Perfect. I think
it's like the go faster stripes on cars, isn't it? The more lights you have, the quicker it goes.
That's exactly it. Are we sure the PC's not on fire? It definitely isn't on fire. Not yet. There's no plugs into it, so we should be good, hopefully. I think... Okay, we've got... What have we got? We've got motherboard, we've got CPU, we've got power supply, we've got RAM, we've got storage, we've got CPU cooler, and we've got our fans as well. I'm just going to check to see if anything else... Oh, yeah, we do need to cable up some stuff.
What about additional fans in the front?
Oh yeah.
Wait.
That's true.
Andy?
Thanks, Andy.
Don't worry, we won't do that.
Why not?
Because I've built a B6. I've built in a 600, and it's got more than ample airflow.
But we need more RGB, so let's go for some fans on the front.
And they need more RGB.
Exactly.
We don't.
But I feel like Twitch chat should definitely be a part of deciding which computer looks the most impressive too.
Well, you've just killed us there. We're going to go for RGB
I was going to say, we've won this now already. Thank you for that, Chaz. I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out where we can install this, to be honest with you, because it doesn't really give us that much of an option, does it?
I guarantee we'll do one thing they don't for additional style points, so don't worry.
Okay. Do we get to see like a final rendered image of like the computer when you finish building it or anything? I've never played this, Steve.
So no, yes and no. Once we connect everything up, we can run a what's the program called? 3D Mark on the computer, so we can then find out if the PC works first and foremost, so it doesn't blue screen immediately as soon as you turn the power on. But also you can 3D mark it to see which has got the highest score. So I think we're ready for GPU, if I'm honest with you, because otherwise we're not going to be able to 3D mark anything in all fairness. So
CPU only.
Do we get to see it with the pretty lights and everything as well?
Oh yes, definitely. We're going to get there. Don't worry, we're getting there.
I was just going to say, you just blew my mind there, saying that you can basically build a computer virtually, like in this game, and then you can use virtual software within the game.
Yep.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people online that actually do, like 8-Pack does, with the tournaments at Building. There's actually tournaments for this game online. That people can enter into with the best build,
Nice.
and it's it's a very good game to obviously do it within. Oh, I've forgotten a screw to remove there, so
Aha.
there you go.
Oh,
Okay,
that slowed us down.
that slowed us down a little bit. GPU has gone in. We're going to go for the GTX Asus ROG Strix GeForce GTX 1080 Ti overclocked edition, and
Let's the prices of each part as well.
Yeah, they have it in USD on there. I don't know if if you can change it to GPU. I'd like to be able to change it to
GPU.
Yeah, GBU. Sorry, GBU. GBP. What am I on about? Okay, I've had a meltdown even. I'm trying to think of anything else that we need now. We've got a cooler in. We've got fans in. We've got a color fan in the front as well. Also, power supply. All the cables are connected.
The cable connected to the... Oh, yeah, the graphics card's got it as well. Cool.
Yeah, graphics card's connected as well. We need a boot drive. So we have a USB boot drive, which you plug into the rear, actually. You can plug them into the front on some of these builds as well. I think we're ready to check if cables actually work. So this is the point now where things could catch fire.
God.
So do you have to do cable management too, or does it just automate it?
The good news is no, you don't have to do cable management, otherwise that would be a little bit all over the place already. Missing cables. What's this? Power supply, everything's in. What cable are we missing? Is anyone...
Is there a cable missing, is there?
Yeah, it says missing cables.
Is the CPU pump?
I know what it is.
Is it the pump? Or the...
No.
The motherboard? It's got the 24 pin?
Flange cable.
No, that's all connected there as well.
The hard drive's got cables.
So hard drives...
Power, it needs power and SATA.
Power is there. Oh, wait there. Do we not have power go into the actual board? Because that would probably be a good idea, right?
Yeah, we need the 24 pin. That's what we need.
Uh-oh. We might have an issue here because I can't remember what the cables come under. So I'm just quickly scrolling through stuff in a massive panic to try and find it.
After seeing this, Andy, I'm feeling very confident about our build.
Makes one of us. Because I played one little bit, and it was the install an antivirus. So I'm hoping that doing it logically, like in real life, will work. although the controls are weird.
Do you have like a set step by step? Like, do you usually build them like in the exact same way every time?
It depends on the build, to be fair. I can't say too much because it might give them a little advantage,
them,
but yeah, but there's some things like, for instance, if you're limited on room to do certain things, doing one step before another is generally pretty helpful. So in real life, for instance, where they put the motherboard in and then the cooler and stuff like that, and then put their CPU power in, you would skin your hand doing that because it's so cramped up in that top left corner as you're looking at it. It's really small amount of room to get in there, and the CPU power is normally really high, and it's really fiddly. And it's not just one cable; it's two together. So it is really awkward. So normally we do things like that, and then cable manage them afterwards. So you kind of get all that in. Normally, your cable management is one of the last things you do. As well, the CPU cooler in this is very straightforward to put on. Doing a dual rad with fans is a lot more tricky than that shows, because obviously you've got it suspended. If you're doing it that way, so you're screwing up, it is quite tricky to hold it with one hand whilst then trying to screw it in with another. It's a bit of a mare.
Yeah, that's how I had mine built.
Right then, I'm gonna invoke one very. Oh, never mind. Don't worry. Connect that to that. Okay.
You're not
case.
cheating, are you?
No, I figured it out right at the very end. Then.
What cable was it?
It was the power cable from the computer to the actual computer.
Yeah, the power plug.
The power plug, yeah, as in like the connection to get into the computer itself. Okay.
Look at it, it's all purple. Ooh, doesn't go with the orange.
It doesn't.
I would say that your desktop matches somehow. That's weird.
We can do that as well, and I think we'll leave it at that for the minute. So we need to restart this anyway. Should we see if they've got any RGB buttons? I mean,
oh yeah,
the more light in the oh, there we look at that. Okay.
Ooh, fancy.
We're gonna go for.
Nobody said anything about peripherals. What are these shenanigans?
Yeah.
The more light in the better, isn't it?
Oh, just on the PC. Suddenly the peripherals come out. Unfair advantage. I've played this all before, and all the hacks.
Okay, so the orange doesn't really work with that. However, I've installed a really significantly good program here, which allows me to change everything.
Lighting.
Yeah, this will allow us to change all of our lighting to orange, like so.
That's not RGB, though. That's orange.
It's orange. I know.
Well, install RGB to pick one colour. I don't know anybody that does that except for me.
I've got you. There you go. There we go. How's that for RGB?
Oh yeah, something
that looks a little bit nicer. Also, we have a front fan which doesn't actually do anything because on it. But at the same time, it's not all about that. I think we should run 3D Mark. Are we ready to try this, Steve? See what it comes out with?
Yeah, we need to write down the score. That's what we need to do.
We do. We also have 4 minutes to spare as well. 30 frames.
Oh, wow. Should we just build another PC while we're here? So we'll have 2.
Yeah, I got plenty of time, to be honest. I could have put 2 GPUs in this. I could have water-cooled it. Oh, by the way, you can actually have a custom water-cool loop in these as well. You can do that via this...
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. No, that is. I've not yet accomplished a water-cooled computer like that in this game because it's just too much for my brain to handle.
Yeah, and I just don't want to show off. So yeah, we're doing it right.
I believe you.
The big question I got, because, and a lot of people don't realise it, is when you start loading all the RGB stuff on in real life, if you were to leave your PC with all that RGB stuff running in the background, even if you turn the lights off, if the program's still running, you'll actually get a lower. Usually, you'll get a lower benchmarking result. It's quite intensive, so like a lot of RGB software, it might make your system look amazing. But for anybody who's looking to build an affordable system and wants to squeeze every penny for performance, RGB should be the last thing on your mind, only because it can reduce your kind of overall FPS and stuff like that. So
it's the power strain on the motherboard that does it, isn't it? It's because it's pulling so much power to keep those lights awake, if that makes sense. That it's then drawing more power on the motherboard, put it under more pressure, which then reduces your end result.
It's also this like CPU process and stuff like that. Just there is some like software packages that are more impactful than others, but not always. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. If you're the sort of person who's going to buy like top dog kind of specs, you're probably not really going to notice, especially if you're getting way over 144 FPS. But yeah, if it's kind of like the budget build you're going for, then that's going to be key.
Indeed, I have just seen what you said in chat, Steve, straight away, and I immediately realised that we can change the monitor. The monitor is now RGB as well, so that's technically going to add like what 15 marks onto our 3D mark score.
No.
Okay.
You've written it again. I just
have you written it down?
The score. Yeah, so we got 8940.
8940.
So,
I'm confident with that 8940, but we'll run it again just in case. We've got like 2 minutes left on the clock.
Have you guys been getting help from Twitch chat then?
No, I haven't been giving away chairs to get help. It's okay.
I'm not even sat in mine anymore. I'm just squatting really hard. He's already taken the chair away.
What's all the advantage?
It's going to be the same.
Come out at a higher score now. Does that confirm that RGB makes things better? If this comes out with a higher score, just because we changed the monitor to an RGB one?
I'm more curious. Does the in-game kind of monitor resolution change? Because if you just changed that for like a 4K and it was a 1080 before, your score in theory could be less. So we're going to take your second score if it's lower. If it's higher, though.
We may have screwed ourselves over here, Steve. Just
You'd like to think that it probably wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
We'll see. Because that's the thing. If realistically we're going on kind of, does it look cool and the score, style points. I mean, if we beat you by doubles, style points ain't going to help you.
No, exactly. Yeah, like it's all well and good having everything filled with RGB, but at the same time, if our 3D mark score is less than yours, that's it. It's game over. And Jazz takes like another mini host challenge.
Well, I'm hoping that there's a few little key things I can hopefully try and get us, to kind of get the just get the slight edge. One of them, because you've got a minute and you're never going to be able to do it in time, is actually go for an M.2 if they're available, because it's going to be a speedier drive.
But was there an RGB one in the game? Or that's the same score.
Yeah, there you go. We do actually have an RGB M.2 in here, I think.
Oh, do you have an SSD on the back?
Yeah, I put two in. I put a 960 gigabytes.
Oh, I missed that. Damn.
There we go.
There we go.
This is it. Pretty close then.
We're ready to go. I mean, what I've got? How long have I got left on the clock? 7 seconds. But to be honest with you, I'm only putting the side of the case on. So it's not really a build part, is it? Let's be honest.
Oh, but it's zero. Yeah, it is. If we ship that in transit.
Yeah. No. Take that off. No. You had to do that before the timer. Was that?
My hands are off.
Whoa. This is an RGB build with a solid case. That's a waste of money.
When we go to LAN, the thing is, Andy, when we go to EPICLAN, we take the side of the case off.
Yeah, but when you're not at EPICLAN, you're a big old loot with RGB inside the case that you've got no light.
But we are however, so all good.
Right.
We're all good, yeah, exactly. That is my bit, at least, anyway. We're ready now to see what you and Jazz can kind of pull out of the bag.
Let's see if we can get the black or the black silver version with a window. I was going to say we'll go for 32 gig as well. That might give us the edge.
Oh yeah.
So
we'll go for single
I was going to say, Andy, I can see from chat as well. Obviously, you've been giving out the keys. Do you want to remind people again what the keys are for, and what to do if they get the key successfully? If you manage to get the key, you need to whisper to us to get the DLC key as well. So the last one we did a phrase. The next one we're going to take off the last character of the code. So we'll put like a question mark or something. You need to figure that out for Steam. Whoever gets it first, whisper either. If I post it, it probably won't be me because I'll be trying to help Jazz.
I'm going to do it now. Should we give it a go?
Yeah. So we'll take off the last character and put a question mark. And then, so you need to figure it out. It's in Steam. It's a Steam game.
There it is.
So whoever gets it first, whisper to Steven, and he will give you the DLC code for extras.
You get a mini game within a mini game. How cool is that? Like,
Haribo not included.
Haribo's not included, indeed.
Only in the game.
You can't even touch them. You can't even knock the ball over.
There was a tiny disappointment in my voice when we were testing this game a few days ago, and I got asked the question, "Can you eat the Haribo in game?" And I was like, "You can't." And you could hear everyone on the channel going, "Really?" Like, yeah, sorry.
All right, Angie, are you feeling ready?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully, you know the controls at least to kind of like get the case in it.
Game.
Well,
I've not played the game, so I'm relying on you.
I've not played free play, so we'll assume it's right click. Well, that's an NZXT case, right?
Oh, okay, right. There's. I have an NZXT.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because Steve started off with the right case, so let's at least figure out how we can get the case. So don't go over to the cabinets because that's going to cost us valuable seconds. Just go back to the desk.
I will help you at this point. I will help you at this point only, and only this point, okay?
We don't need your
Jazz, it's going to help you very massively. Come out of that screen a second, okay? Go to the desk. So click the little door thing on the top left, and then go to the desk. And then if you look at the computer, hit your right click. So right click on the computer, and now turn around. Yeah. And then go to towards the front door. There's like a big shelf with 3 brown boxes on it on the left side. Oh no, to the left of you. See where the yellow, blue boxes are?
No. Oh, here? No, not there.
Yeah.
Nope. There you go.
Yeah,
Got one.
a good tour of the shop and the build
area.
area.
It's a very good tour.
Nope. Turn around, Jazz. Turn right.
This way.
Turn right. Nope. There you go. That. Put it on there.
Okay. Evidently, I don't know my left from my right.
No. Back on those blue things.
Yeah,
I mean, you put it there.
Yeah. Okay,
it's
now go back to the desk. You can go back to the desk and you can build it straight from there.
Just put it down anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere will do. I noticed. I don't know if people have noticed as well. You mentioned obviously about the giraffe.
Right click on that desk, Jazz. You shouldn't need to go over to that at all now.
Wait, on this desk or the one where it was?
That one. The
one with the Haribos?
Yep. No. Don't take that case. Just go back to that desk.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah, go to that big desk. A right click.
Nothing happens.
Okay, Steve, how do we get that inventory up so we can drop a case at least? Because I've never done free play.
I pressed I. I worked.
There we go. Okay. So search base 600.
Search what?
Base 600.
BASE.
Yeah, as in base in the place.
They don't have it.
Oh. Have you put a space in there, or so base space 600, or have you put it all one word? Because the text's so small.
Yeah, it's here now.
There we go. Pick one with a window, so at least we've got star points already there.
Oh, should we go for the whole window, the full window one?
Can do.
I think we should maybe do one without. I think we should maybe do one with just like black, because otherwise if we put RGB in, then it's not gonna, fit the scene.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So as long as we've got the base 600, we're on the right case.
Okay, what goes next?
There you go. So you need to click each thumb screw, and it should prompt you to unscrew them. So there you go. Keep them, and then just click them until it goes out. You need to click and hold. There you go. Click and hold.
Okay,
this is where it just smashes. There we go. And then take the front and top off. So if you rotate slightly to view the front panel. There you go. And then top one. Okay, so click the hard drive cages and take those out. You've got one at the bottom, the big one, slightly down. It's like that big weird thing. Yeah, so start taking that out.
Yeah, well, let me take it out.
Oh, I won't let you take it out. What? Oh, take the back panel off. So you need to look around to the back, to your back. There you go. Yeah, so the thumb screw's on there. That should come off.
Do we want to take all of them off?
Yeah, just take them all out. We're not going to use mechanicals. We're just going to go straight M.2. And I'm 99% sure if we pick a nice high-end motherboard, we're so this is points for time that we're going to lose, but it's points for star that we're going to gain, because a big ugly hard drive cage that you're not using, waste of time. And to be honest, in real life that would restrict airflow, because that fan that's right in front of the hard drive cages, although you may not have any hard drives in, you can leave the top right one. We'll leave the ODD bay in. There's nothing going there anyway. So pull up the inventory and look for a nice 850 watt power supply.
Power supply.
Yeah, so just search 850W or that.
So, is there a particular brand that's really good for power supplies?
So, I have no idea what's in the game, but just pick something that you like the look of and we'll match everything else to it, because there's no PSU cover. So, if you pick like an all black PSU, then we'll try and get all black. Just don't pick that bronze one. We're going to go for a bad time with that.
Okay. This out there, Steve. By this point in our build, we already had a motherboard and we had the CPU. We had
where do I find the power supply?
It goes to the bottom left of the case. There you go. Click that bottom left bit. Nope. Go back into the case. There you go. So, yeah. So it needs to go.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, there you go. And then rotate it and do the screws. Cool. Right. So we're going to go for an Intel top-end chip, whatever the top-end one is. So we're going to go with an Intel motherboard. So go to your motherboards.
Okay, so I have a few questions now.
Yep.
Intel versus Ryzen, which is best for what use and why?
Depends what you're using it for. So Intel still offers hyperthreading. So if you still have any programs that do use hyperthreading and can use it, obviously it's got the slight advantage over Ryzen. However, if you are just going for pure core count, there is some Ryzen chips out there that do take the edge. Price performance, when you're going right up at the top end, it is kind of apples and oranges. Motherboards, I'm a sucker for a black and white build. It works really well, so try and find a nice black and white motherboard with 2 M.2 slots. Black and white will work well because the white will contrast, and in real world, the lights will kind of reflect off it, so it'll be quite nice.
Make sure you go for ITX one as well.
Full ATX, don't listen to them. To be fair, we could do M-ATX, but it would restrict us and it'd look silly, so...
Do you have any idea for a brand that we should kind of be looking at?
I would go Asus.
Asus, yeah.
A lot of Asus love going on here for the motherboard.
I think it's like it's a staple for Asus at the minute. I mean, I've not really ventured out of...
Oh, just stop, Jazz. Go up 2. So go up a row and then go up a row again. Up a row?
Yeah.
Stop there. What's that one in the middle? Asus something or another.
Asus Prime.
Asus Prime X299 Deluxe.
Oh, X299. No. We need a Z390. In fact, yes.
So what's the difference between the two?
So that's the platform. So we will want X390 because then that way at least we're going to get... Or, no, not X390. Sorry, Z390.
Okay, we have Z370 here.
No, wait, no, yeah, sorry, it'll be Z370. Sorry, I'm confusing AMD and
I found
Ryzen.
this black and white one here. Z370 iGaming, Asus ROG Strix.
So that's an ITX board. So we need the same numbers, Z370, not Z390, because that's halfway between Intel and AMD. So if the one next to it's a Z370, that looks like a... so the one next to that again? Is that Z390? Z370?
All of these ones on this row is Z370. One of them is E, one of them is A, one of them is I. Okay,
Z370. We'll go for them. Does it say what form factor they are?
Form factor?
Yeah, so it might say micro ATX or ATX or ITX.
So the first one is SATX, the second one is SATX, and the last one is mini ITX.
Okay, so I think SATX in this is going to be standard ATX, so use that first one that you're hovering over.
Okay.
And then when it comes up, click in there where it's hovering, where it goes green, and then you'll have 3 across the top, 3 in the middle, 3 in the bottom, so you need to screw them in. Where's the motherboard gone?
Where's the motherboard gone?
Oh, do you have to screw the standoffs in? Yeah, just start screwing. Really? Yeah, just start screwing those in until it goes green.
Of course, it's like when you build a PC, that's what you need to do.
No case have I ever bought, and bear in mind, in the past 12 months, I changed my case 3 times. I've never had to screw the standoffs in.
Have you changed it so many times?
I'm just, and then repeat the process, sorry, Jazz. Apparently, the I/O shields are just magical and insert themselves. So once we've done this, you're going to need to kind of rotate, so you're looking up at that upper left corner of the system, kind of like the back top.
Like here?
Nope, other way around. So inside. So from the bottom, looking up.
Can we zoom? Oh yeah, we can. Okay, yeah.
There you go. Because what we're going to need to do is click the PSU and drag it into the places for. So there should be There should be a cable for the top left for the CPU socket.
I feel really cruel while I was saying this, but Jazz, hit 3 on your keyboard.
Hit 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there you go. So that top left where it's orange, you're going to need to drag that down to the PSU.
So I just...
Yep, there you go. I think you're clicking, and then there you go.
Okay.
And then do the same on the right-hand side. There's a big chunky that one. That big chunky downside one. Do that, and then click the motherboard. So that's normally what you do in real life. So, okay, so bring up the inventory again, and you're going to search for 9900.
90. What for?
So this is the processor. You need another 0. 9900.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so explain to me, what's the difference between when it has a K? When it has a K, obviously it could be overclocked, but what's the difference between a K and a KS? What does a KS mean?
So there's 3 different variations now. You've got K, KS, and KF. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm quite out of touch. I think one of them doesn't have graphics anymore. Am I right in saying that?
Onboard graphics, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So one of them, I think they got rid of the onboard graphics side of things. Unfortunately, opposite where we are sitting, we have 2 tech guys, and neither of them are in for me to get the cheats. I'm sure the chat will completely be like, how'd you not know this? I do events for a living, right? I don't need to know. I buy what I buy. Yeah, I buy what I buy. If it doesn't work, I give it to somebody else and it's their problem. So yeah, so you'll want to pick the 99K. Which ones do you have? Do you have the K, KS, and KF?
No, I just have the K and KF.
Okay, we'll just go for the KF.
KS?
Yep. Yeah, whichever one you've got.
So another question that I have for you.
Yes.
Let's say I want to build a PC and it's mainly for gaming and streaming, both of them. Processor-wise, what would you recommend? Let's say I'm playing games like CSGO, which is heavily like CPU-based. What processor would you kind of recommend?
Okay, if you're doing it on a single system, you're going to need to go for a really top end. So to install that CPU, by the way, you should just need to click the big silver thing in the middle of the board with the black hole. There you go. So it may make you open that up. So there you go. And then put it back in. And then just click the cover again. And it'll close it. There you go. So yeah, so because you're going to be doing it on a single system, you'll need to have quite a top-end CPU. So if you want to find a nice all-in-one cooler, Jazz, go ahead, find something with RGB. You've probably got like a Corsair H100i or something like that in there. So we'll go with something like that. So yeah, you'll need a kind of top-end CPU because for a lot of the time when you're streaming, it's quite CPU intensive. So if you don't get that, you're going to start dropping frames. I know a lot of CSGO players, they'll kind of step down quality, and they'll step down a lot of that stuff for the frame games. So it's not that intensive in terms of that, but you still want the frames. So you're quite lucky with CSGO because realistically you can play it in kind of, Tomb Raider 1 low poly textures and still play the game.
So do you recommend an i7? Do you think an i7 is okay if I wanted to just be gaming and streaming, or do you reckon you should be stepping it up to like an i9? So I know when I was in university, I was using, and I'm still using, an i7 4700K. And every time I tried to render 3D models and animations and stuff, I just kept blue screening constantly. So do you think if I had an i9, would it have kind of changed things drastically?
It totally depends why you're blue screening. You'll get BSODs for a lot of reasons. It could be that you're out of RAM and your computer just goes no. It could be that the processor's getting too hot. The computer needs to shut down. It could be graphics issues. If it's because the CPU's just run out of steam and it can't do any more processes, you need to look at it and go, okay, what is it that I'm running out of? Is it the kind of overall capacity of the CPU? Because it will try its best to do the processes with what's there. A lot of the time it'll lock up rather than freeze and blue screen. So say, for instance, it's just taking forever. It's really slow. So with the older i7s, if your 3D rendering software was using, could take advantage of hyperthreading, having that enabled in BIOS, first of all, is a good place to start. So, sorry, just while we're on the topic, we'll go with the 240mm, just because that kind of copies theirs. So click the one on the left, because the first one's a triple. You can fit the triple in the top.
That's a 280.
Oh, is it? Yeah, the 280 is just the size of the RADs.
Are you sure?
Sorry,
do we not get more RGB? Do we not get more RGB if we use the triple?
You know what? We'll go for the bigger one. Yeah, go on then. You wanted more RGB. We'll go for the big one.
Yes.
And also, you wanted to
thermal paste. Thermal paste.
I was going to say, Andy, I'm in the old school method of PC stuff where.
Where is it?
Just search for paste.
I always went to like i3 is your daily kind of everyday use, i5 is gaming, and then i7 is like your multimedia. But now, because obviously i9 is there as well, it's like changed the game as far as how things actually work, if that makes sense. Yeah,
so up until a few years ago, kind of i3 was, like you say, i3 was, in terms of us guys, because obviously you've got like the stuff below i3, but if we're just talking i3, 5 and 7s, then yeah, that's kind of where we'd be looking at. So I think, Jazz, that's saying that something's in the way. So you might need to take the thing out to the top right of the case.
Isn't it is it the cover for the?
No, so it's that big thing that's going red. So you need to take that out.
This thing.
Yeah, so that's the.
Oh
yeah,
no,
so
it's the fan. The fan. The thing that goes red is the fan at the back.
Oh, is it the fan as well? Okay, so whip that fan out then. The screws are probably on the back of the case. Oh, yeah, I forget that you can do it just through skeletal view. So yeah, so i3 was kind of like, you know, your beginning level, just in terms of like these sorts of terminology. If anybody's listening, please don't take offense if I say it's a beginner's level, but that was kind of where you'd start out. i5 was the happy medium. You get a bit more punch, you get a bit more go. i7 was where you get obviously more cores, more hyper-threading, so you get that side of it. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of what you want. i9 almost, in a sense, replaced i7 because i7 stopped having hyper-threading and i9 took over. In terms of AMD, there's kind of, I think it's multi-threading, not hyper-threading, so it works slightly differently. So we won't touch on AMD at all for this. But yeah, so, and then Intel started to kind of mess with this whole i3 5.7. You knew where you were with that. And then you started getting like i3s that were absolutely, you got i3Ks that were stonkers for gaming. Yeah. Like APAC in his little LAN rig that's probably this big has an i3K chip because he can overclock it and get loads of grunt, because for the games he plays, he doesn't need so much CPU.
Yeah.
And then he bolts in like a 2080 Ti just because, you know, a 2080 Ti with a i3.
So that makes sense.
So, yeah, but he doesn't need to do anything that's CPU kind of intensive. So what you want to probably look for, Jazz, is just search for Corsair RGB if you're looking for RAM, or Corsair 32GB.
So
we'll just go off the bank of 32 gig.
I'm going to hit you with another question. How much RAM would you recommend?
Ooh, okay, this is a good
both
question.
For gaming and for, let's say, if I'm streaming as well. Is 16?
I'd recommend downloading it.
Or...
Yeah, I always download my RAM.
Yeah, up until a few years ago, a lot of people said like 16 gig was good. Probably in the last 12 months, 16 gig is now kind of going standard, which is terrifying. Then again, when you think that 250 gigs is almost going to be like the standard for maybe a game and your operating system, that's also quite scary. So for me, I'd probably, my home PC is still, and this is probably a sentiment that a few of the guys at Clockers share, we will upgrade our GPU, we'll push the CPU. So I know for a fact that unless Stephen, he's on the other side, unless Stephen, even though he's that side for me, has upgraded his CPU, we're both still on the 4th gen, we're still on the 4000 series Intel processor, so I've got a 4790K, so I can come in and get mine delidded, which is literally as it sounds. That big bit of metal that's on your processor, you can take that off and redoodle it. We're running out of time. But yeah, normally I'd say 16, I'd say 32. Right, so let's go for 32 gig of RAM.
Should we put two 16s in?
Yes, 216s would be good.
Install ramp. Open.
See, this is the horrible thing because try the outer right and then if you're going to go with that one, you need to go all the way to the left for the next one. Because the rule of thumb is you put one in, skip one, put one in, skip one.
Yeah, you don't want to place them both side by side.
Yeah, yep, that one looks right.
Close it, please.
Yeah, definitely close them.
Okay, yeah.
They should, in theory, they should close. If this is like real life, they should close automatically. That's cool.
Okay, what's next?
So, next is the 2080 Ti.
Install.
Are you going NVIDIA then?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you didn't go NVIDIA?
No, we did. There was going to be a poll up in chat actually to see which way you guys were actually going to go. If you're going to go NVIDIA or AMD.
I mean, to be fair, I'm tempted to see if there's one of the top-end Quadro cards in, because if we're doing 3D Mark, you'll need to unscrew those thumb screws as well. Oh, wait, sorry, Jazz, before you do this, locate the M.2 on the board. I don't know. Oh, no, put the GPU in. It's not like real life. It's a lot easier. In real life, I'd normally say get the M.2 in before the GPU, otherwise you're going to be for a bad time. Yeah,
because that's shielding. Once you've got that GPU in, you have no chance at all of ever moving that thing.
Yeah, it's take it back out and put it back in. So you can do one of two things. You can either look at the PSU and do there you go, get those cables plugged in.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, and then we'll do an M.2. So if you go to your inventory again.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, Steve. I feel really confident. I've got 9 minutes left.
Yeah, should we ask him a question just to drown down?
You guys scumbaggers. So search for NVMe M.2 will be fine. NVMe would be the better one. So you want M.2 NVMe.
Sarah Banana has come up with a question in chat early on, and I'm actually interested in this because my next PC build was going to have it. Water cooling. Is it just for the view, or does it actually do anything power-wise?
Stephen, do you want to take this one so I can help Jazz?
No, it's all right. You're more knowledgeable.
So water cooling, yes, it means you can push your hardware faster and further. Because obviously when you're overclocking and stuff like that, it is going to really. So I'm slightly concerned, Jazz, that do the fans plug in automatically? I know this is a really stupid question, but
they do not.
Do you mean these ones up here?
Yeah. So there's something. So they need to plug in.
Is it around the back of the case, maybe?
Should I plug?
I have no idea where the cables go. No.
Oh, no. Okay, how do I unplug it? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm panicked. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
oh my god.
Flip the case around, and we'll see if those cables are plugged in.
Data Live says in chat as well. He's like, the pumps on water cool make a lot of sound. From my experience with it, at least anyway, with friends who've had like water cooled systems, full rig systems, they do make a bit of noise, like a gurgling noise, if that makes any sense.
If you get a good quality one though. Yeah, I think if you research into some different brands, you will find that like typically the more expensive brand would be better in terms of sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually water cooling is a lot quieter anyway.
Jazz, could you just do that cable view thing again, where it shows you kind of things that aren't plugged in?
This connect case fan.
There you go. So that case fan is clearly not plugged in. So drag that to the motherboard. There should be. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So the fans on the cooler must like automatically plug in, for want of a better description. Right. That loops. Right. So we've got PSU, we've got case, we've got all that sort of stuff. Right. So if you go back to the panels, we can just pop all the panels back on. If you want to search for like LED strips, we can see about getting some of those in.
Do we want more storage? Are we allowed to have more storage? Are we allowed to...
We can do, but we're running out of time. And to be honest, it won't make a difference in 3D Mark. We've got the primary drive. And that's what we need.
Right.
I didn't even see the primary drive go in. When have you done that already?
Yeah, boy, just above the GPU.
Goodness, I didn't even see that.
Where do we find the PC parts?
Maybe accessories if there is, or case parts or something. Oh, yeah. Okay, so your case parts are in that PC parts. But I don't know why is there no LED strips in this?
I don't think there is internal LED.
Okay. Okay, so it's just put the case back together then.
Because which
is where you are now, Jess.
You'd hope they would have that NZXT box that you can fit right next to your power supply. I think.
So are we not putting a hard drive in this at all?
No, we don't need a mechanical or an SSD because it's just going to be for testing the power. So we'll leave it with just a single M.2.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to pop the panels back on, we'll do a test boot and see if it turns on. Oh, that's a point. The I/O panel. Is the I/O panel all connected?
Back here.
That top bit that's all weird looking. No, the front I/O. Sorry, with your power buttons. I mean, it's not flashing up, so put the panels on and we'll plug the power in and see if it boots. Bear in mind, I've never had to go this far. So you go back into your inventory and go to PC parts.
Oh, and then I have to. Where is that?
Very bottom.
Case file? Oh. Yeah, what?
Oh, where's PC parts gone? Do you want to throw us a bone, Steve? Because it's gone.
No.
What
that menu? We're trying to get the front, top, and back on.
Yes. So if you go to where is it?
There you go.
Parts.
That's case fans again.
Cases. Yeah. Go to cases. I think it is. You need to click onto the computer to work on it, and then cases. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. So you need to be in the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so come off that menu, Jazz, and then yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And then
So do it in that mode.
Then go into the inventory, yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
There we go, PC parts. There we go, and then just get the back, top, front, and yeah.
But we've not got we're not gonna have a lot of RGB in this, are we?
Well, I was hoping we'd be able to do LED strips, but I mean, in terms of like everything else, then I guess it's about the same. Also, I can't see the chat at the minute, so I don't know if they're screaming that we're doing it wrong.
No, they're just counting down the time in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Stop making me panic.
We had all the questions asked of us. Right, don't get
I
the.
think so. It would be nice to see in this game some form of like lighting strips, as you mentioned, because obviously you can get Is it NZXT that have like the box you can put in the bottom of your computer?
Yeah, I've got one of them.
Yeah, I've been looking at one of them for my next build.
There we go. So you should have 2 USBs and then you'll have a visual. Click and hold it a little bit longer. There you go. And then the visual goes into the GPU.
And then do we
turn it on the front? Yeah, hopefully.
Don't blow up! It's not turning on!
Oh, there's smoke in the background.
No, it's not. Oh my god,
Right, so obviously it wants us to plug something in. Take that glass panel off.
Is the power supply turned on? It's not that, is it, on the back?
You turn it off and on again.
Take the side panel off, Jazz, the glass one.
Andy,
yeah?
with 3 minutes left, I'm going to let you know, okay? Remember the mistake that I made?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, but I couldn't figure out how to see that view of cables because I couldn't tell if it was coming up.
What's this?
Bear in mind, Jazz has never played it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we got it.
Right, so you have. Right, so in real life, that power button is connected to the case when you take that front panel off. So that's where that was why I was getting really confused. Yeah, so screw it back in, and then you should be able to hit that power button. Wait,
we need no rest.
Oh, so you need to go to the PC parts and go to thumb drive. Turn it back off, Jazz. There you go, thumb drive there, right in the middle.
This one.
Yeah, probably.
Click on that and then that. And where did it go? Where did my USB go?
Click the USB again.
Okay.
There you go.
Power.
I keep forgetting to press to talk. Hey, we've got power.
Yes. Okay.
Right, let's see if it works. Cool. Right, there you go. So we need to. Right, do we have grace at least to just run the test? Because we need to go into add and remove programs.
I will give you that.
Yeah, we need to see the score.
Yeah,
we need to see the score to see if it works. Don't restart it, just install it and then.
I restarted it.
Oh well.
It's all good. It's fine. You don't need to do the lighting anyway. Well, I only did the lighting for flair, to be honest, and I think we've won either way anyway, so it's not really.
Probably.
What do you mean, probably?
Right, run that score.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, is this good or bad?
So, may I add, bear in mind, chat, I played it once where I had to install a antivirus. Jazz has never played it. So I think we get some points for the fact that we're in time running a benchmark.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I mean, like, obviously I've got a bit of experience in this game. I had Steve, who is just probably one of the best PC builders and chair builders in the UK.
There we are.
Probably the correct word there.
You know, and
we should rename Overclockers. Steve Clockers or something like that.
Well, you're both Steve, so just Steve and Steven.
Steve. I got outed yesterday, by the way. I completely forgot about this. So I didn't know that I was on Liquipedia. It's like a website for like CS people and all that.
Yeah.
And my real name is on Liquipedia.
Oh.
And I've tried for so long to not reveal my real name. My name is actually on there now. I don't have a page or anything, but I'm associated with one of the gigs that I've done in the past. And yeah, not the way I wanted it, but it is what it is. Our score, just to remind everyone, was 8,940.
I'm hoping, really hoping, that dual channel 32 gig is going to give us that bit of an edge. But this is remote help, and I can't read like spec. So if you've got like 3600 megahertz and we had 2200 or something, even though that's not really a thing, then you may be.
Oh yeah, baby!
Wow! Yes! Wow. Sorry, audio people, for getting you.
Wait, no, wasn't ours 18,000?
Oh yeah,
no, it pretty well wasn't.
What can
I'll tell you what. Okay,
that's good.
Considering Andy is doing it remote without being able to see and sit down next to you and be like, right, click this, click that, and you've never built something in this before, I'll give props. That's very, very well done.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it literally finished as it went to zero, pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
bang on.
It's like we planned it. It's like we'd done this 1,000 times and we knew exactly how it was going to go.
Yes, well, guys, we don't need to ship a PC without the panel on and use extra time.
Yeah.
Long way. Yeah, you have to face the other way. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was close, though. That was close. It's a shame you can't do the LEDs and stuff like that. So I think in terms of style, I've got to give it to you guys. The whole RGB kind of rest of the stuff, you clearly beat us on. But in terms of just the pure score, and let's face facts, numbers matter. We kicked your ass.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like from a 3D Mark perspective, 100%, I agree with you. But I do think style points should come into it as well. But it's probably not going to happen anyways. Let's be honest. I'll be honest though, I've really enjoyed that. It was a really cool kind of like concept to bring up and just be like, you know what, we got two people here that work for a company that there's DLC for. Let's get it, get this on screen and see what we can do with it. And I think that was quite nice to build through. And I hope it spurred a couple of people on in chat. I know a few people have won their own copy of the game as well. I hope it spurs a few people on to start building their own in there as well.
Yeah, I hope you guys have been able to take some valuable information from the debates we've been having about, types of processors and how much RAM and all that good stuff. So if you are interested in building your own PC or upgrading, do not forget, we have special EPICLAN deals going on right now with our friends Overclockers. Indeed. So yeah, Andy, do you know the link that you want to post for the deals?
Do I have the power to post links?
You should be able to. I'm almost certain.
I mean, there's only one way of finding out.
There is. It's trial and error moment.
Hey, I can. I have the power.
There we go.
I think in terms of style points, I'm going to award you 1,736, which puts you 1 point less than us, so we still win, just to be a full winner.
That was the quickest loading of calculator I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think we did a pretty good job. And as always, it was an easy win. Sorry, Steve. That's another challenge.
We're also going to find out what happens in the host challenge 2 later on tonight as well. So stay tuned for that. But I think that's it from us two, at least anyway. What have we got coming up next, Jazz? I think it's the pre-show next, isn't it?
I believe we have Marbles coming up next.
Sorry.
If I'm not mistaken. What time is it? Oh, no, I think Marbles is in an hour. So we have something else coming up before Marbles.
Cool. So we're gonna be Marbles. It is Marbles next,
and I'll be back here. You guys are stuck with me. You're not getting rid of me just yet. So yeah, myself and Duty Hero are gonna be bringing back the very popular LAN game that we always play, Marbles. So that'll be some good fun, talking all things RNG that's going on in the game.
Yes, and that's enough of my face for today, at least anyway. I will be back tomorrow. We have quite a good day planned tomorrow as well, don't we, Jazz, in all fairness?
Yeah.
With lots of bits and pieces that are going up on stream for yourselves. But yeah, thank you very much, both Andy and Steve. It's been a pleasure to have a chat with you once again, albeit not on stage.
Yeah,
but
it's been great.
You know, socially distanced conversations. Perfect. I love it.
Yeah, it's been good fun. Thank you for having us.
Thanks
Cheers,
for
guys.
joining.